This is Freddie Williams, and I'm starting the second part of my Q&A series about the creation of comic books, behind the scenes, that sort of thing. Did you buy 455? It states commission question, what do I need to add in a commission, how many pages, characters, covers, comic pages, etc., and is it okay to pencil your work, then copy it off and ink the copy so that you have penciled and ink page for the commission? I'm pretty sure that they mean submission or portfolio instead of the word commission. So going off of that assumption, basically they want to know what they should include in their portfolio. And I plan on doing a more detailed outline of this later on because this is a really big question, but I'm going to summarize it here to give an idea so that I'm not just like leaving leaving you hanging for for a couple months or whatever till I have the time. So let's see. I would suggest that the portfolio be no more than 10 pages total, and no more than one of those to be a splash or cover or that sort of thing. Whenever I was younger, I got dinged a lot because most of my portfolios were splash art, and that's actually a pretty common problem for new artists is where they focus so much of their portfolio they dedicate towards splash art, and it's because they like that big impact moment. At least that's what it was for me. But the 90% of a comic book is the sequential work, so editors want to see if you can draw pages sequentially. Storytelling is an art in and of itself, so it's not just something you can slap together or just that the editors can assume that you know how to do just because you drew a couple of good pinups. So I would suggest A, about 10 pages, B, that it is that no more than one of those is a splash / pinup sort of cover piece, and then the rest of it be sequential work from one story, because editors are basically looking for the following checklist. They're looking for the artist's ability to show sequential storytelling, to show superhero people, real life people, so the difference between that. They're looking to show personal interactive moments, of course big action. Then they want to see that you can draw nature things, animals, big cityscapes, crowds of people. You also want to demonstrate that you can draw high technology stuff like some sort of cool weaponry and stuff, kind of Kirby-esque, as well as conventional stuff like like cars and planes or whatever. You don't necessarily need a script for this. In fact, I can propose a plot, and it's one that I've given out, and I've listed it in interviews, and I even did a panel at the San Diego convention a couple years ago that I hope to post the video for that a little later this year. That was focused on how to break into comic books. So the plot goes like this. Start off at a zoo with a young, like a grandchild, like a grandson or granddaughter, and their grandparent, and they're looking at animals and stuff, and in the habitats there. And then at the bottom of that first page, there's like an explosion, and everyone turns around, and it's Superman has impacted the ground, and so he's left this big crater, and it's smoking and stuff. So the next page is not a splash, but there's like a big panel of you're looking up past Superman at Calabac and some of the minions, Darkseid's minions. You kind of follow the action as Superman flies up off the ground, and he and the minions and Calabac are all fighting above Metropolis. That's over the next couple of pages. So they go over the city, they take the fight down to street level again, to like a sidewalk cafe, like a busy street near a sidewalk cafe. You can show people scurrying away, and that's where the fight, Superman has the upper hand, and the fight looks like it could end, and then there's the last panel of the next to the last page, there's like a bright light from off panel as Superman's turning around, and then when you turn the page, showing Darkseid that's just arrived in a boom tube. So that portfolio basically has everything. It has real people, superheroes, conventional city scene backgrounds, nature stuff, high technology, big action. That's that's a comic book I would love to draw even now. So I guess if you can pull that off, I think it says a lot to the editors. For the second part of that question, which was, so is it okay to pencil a page and then copy it off and make inks and that sort of thing? I submitted already inked work as well. It was work that was going to be published and stuff. It was some pages from Noble Causes when I was working, doing some work for Image and some other independent stuff. So it was already inked work. I did not have a copy of it penciled as well. So it's not a requirement, but I think what it does is if you're not that good of an inker, it'll insulate you against your inks kind of ruining your pages. So imagine if you were drawing a face and you used too many thick line weights, it could kind of ruin the expression of the face, and that would count against you kind of because of your inking, your shortcoming as an inker. But if you're better at just doing pencils, go with your strong suit. So it's entirely up to you as far as what you're shooting for. So although I intend on doing a more finalized, finessed version of this same video, like what to include in your portfolio, I hope that this answers your question. And thanks for tuning in, and I'll be back later on with some more Q&A. Thanks.